we're back here on the morning show, and first I want to give a big shout out to one of our key sponsors, Middle Park Medical Center. Can't do it without them, so big thanks to those guys for sponsoring our show. Hanging out here with Peggy Smith, the mayor of Fraser, and we're going to talk a little bit about Fraser today. And some people might think Fraser is the little sister, little brother to Winter Park because it's more the residential. We're going to see more grocery shopping and schools. And
We are. We have the library, the school, the rec center, and the grocery store.
So if and most people think, well, if we're doing the tourist stuff, we stay in Winter Park, go to Fraser more just to live or exist. And there's actually a lot of stuff to do in Fraser.
Well, we also have the two largest developments in the county, Grand Park and Rendezvous.
Yep.
So we have.
Don't forget the tubing capital of the USA, or what is that? The tubing capital of something? I don't know.
Well, at least the USA,
yeah, right.
Maybe the world.
Yeah. Two monstrous tubing hills that are lift serviced, and so we have some fun activities like that. Great shopping,
lots of mountain biking.
Yep, in the summertime especially, it's the place to be. I think personally for mountain biking, cross country trails on north, south, east, and west. It's surrounded.
And don't forget about the Fraser River. That's our biggest asset.
Yeah, well, of course, right. And there's some new changes that we've had for the better that are helping people get to and from Fraser, and from Fraser to and from the ski resort in town. And that's our transit. We've seen some improvements over the last 6 months now.
Well, actually November.
Yeah.
So
not even 6 months, right?
We just passed a 1% sales tax in Fraser, and then in Winter Park they passed a 2%. And so now we are partnering with Winter Park, and they are running the transit system that used to be run by the resort.
Right, and this just left as of November 1st, more or less, or November 12th, or whatever it was. It has gone over to Winter Park. Mm-hmm. Town runs it.
The town runs it, and so it's really exciting because we are going to have year-round transportation, which we've never had before, and it runs until 2 o'clock in the morning, so the restaurants and bars are happy.
And the
police
corridor,
department is thrilled.
There's no reason no reason to not drive or to drive, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, exactly. So that's a wonderful thing. And people living in Fraser before, if you worked back to Winter Park, is heavy tourism in Winter Park. A lot of restaurants, a lot of shops, a lot of employment opportunities. If you lived in Fraser and it's May or June, you're either biking, walking, or, if you have a car, obviously driving, but it's wonderful to have this transportation.
No, we're really excited about it. And what we did the first year is maintain the existing routes in the winter, and then we'll reevaluate those routes and see where additions can be made and what we can do to make everyone happy next year.
So, and are you on the committee?
I am on the.
Okay. How big is the committee? Is it members of both Fraser, Winter Park, and the
resort?
There are
three of us on the committee, one from the resort, one from the town of Winter Park, and I'm representing Fraser.
Even representation for all three of our kind of key spots there. A lot of people have mentioned, is there any chance of it running to the ball fields this summer with all the rec district activities out there?
Well, I think that is something that we would consider, but right now we're in the process of just getting through the winter.
Right.
And then we're going to be hiring the town of Winter Park is hiring a transit manager.
Oh, nice.
And so hopefully that person will be on board within the next month or so. And then we can really get serious about evaluating future plans and routes.
So I'm guessing you guys have a very good idea of what revenues have been in the past. Can you get an accurate projection on what you're going to make revenue-wise from the tax, or is that still kind of an unknown?
Well, we're still dealing with the sales tax, how much we're going to collect, which is one issue, and we have a pretty good idea of operating costs, but it's trying to figure out how it's all going to play fairly, and there's a lot of people that would like to have service, and what's a fair way to charge them, and that's one of the issues that we have to address.
And so the tax, you said, was 1% Fraser, 2% in Winter Park. So is this all going to the bus system, all the tax
Well,
revenues?
it's not all, because part of it's going to trails. So, and right now we're focusing on transit, and then hopefully we'll see some increased sales tax revenue this year. Everything is looking good, and that will spill over into trails. It'll also free up some general fund money that was previously spent on trail building. So now we have a sustainable revenue source for both transit and trails. So
that's fantastic too, because their trails are, in the summer especially, are just definitely one of the draws to our county and our area.
So no, that's an important piece to the whole puzzle.
Now I heard a couple locals whining a little bit about it because they said, well, if I go get my groceries, I got to pay all this tax now. And I don't even think that applies. Is that correct? If I go get an apple, am I paying an extra percent tax?
Oh, you are paying an extra
I
percent.
am. Oh, okay. Well, it's only 1%, so it's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal when you really look at the scope of how much you pay for groceries. It's pretty minimal.
Oh, absolutely. No, I'm right there with you. So groceries, everything across the board, all
Everything.
sales tax, nothing falls out of that.
Nothing falls
And then
out.
lodging as well, I assume. If you're
Yeah.
renting, you're paying a sales tax as well. Nice. So they're getting some great revenue, hopefully, to
So
help fund
hopefully
this.
we'll see this being a sustainable thing for everyone. And, now with they're charging for parking at the resort, I ride the bus, and it's worked out great.
I'd say for the last 4 or 5 years, I've been riding it. I don't ever drive to the resort anyways, because by the time you park in a lot, hop a bus, it's like you might as well just get on the bus, have a coffee, and enjoy it all the way up from Fraser. So
And we're getting new rolling stock, so that's an exciting piece too.
that is slang for, I'm assuming, new buses?
New buses.
Okay, nice.
I've been on the transit committee.
And because for years we've been pedaling around on gray school buses, which, they function wonderfully. You can't complain with our transportation. However, so what are we looking at here?
Well, we just bought 10 new buses from Denver. They're older buses, but that will get us.
Are they all operating right now?
Well, no, this happened last week.
Well, this just went down. That's awesome.
So we'll see that. That will get us through kind of an interim because you just don't go down to the bus store and buy a brand new bus. It takes about 18 months. So while we're using that, then we also got a grant for $1 million. It was matching. So about $800,000 that we will have to spend on, which is new money.
Wow.
And we'll match the other
Who gets to
$200,000.
cut that check?
Well, the town of Winter Park.
Drew signing it? Or? Nice. Okay. Yeah. Wow. I didn't realize we just got 10 new buses approved. That's great news. So, and then off season's coming up. So, any idea what that's going to look like? If I'm a resident trying to get somewhere in May, I'm guessing that I'm not going to see the purple lines.
You're not going to see the purple lines.
It'd be a pretty empty bus for quite a bit of the day.
Yeah. So it'll be on demand. We'll be having.
So there'll just be a phone number that's well advertised, and you just kind of call a point person, and they'll send them.
Right.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break. And stay tuned. We'll be back here chatting with Mayor Peggy Smith of Fraser. And once again, a big thanks to one of our key sponsors, Middle Park Medical Center. With that, we'll be back shortly.